Egyptian people here. I welcome you all. And since we have different topics we want to cover, we hope that you're gonna find this really interesting, and we hope you can find this really interesting for you, and also helps you understand Egyptian better. So we're gonna start with Nada, and Nada's gonna start.
Okay, hello everybody. I know you might know me well this day after the last period, but I will introduce myself again. I'm Nada Khatib, who's a medical student from Egypt, and nowadays I'm not a doctor. I'm just a tour guide for you in our trip in Egypt. Just in the first, I want to know how many people from you just have visited Egypt before? Oh, all of you? Okay. I didn't.
No one else?
What did you say?
How many have been to Egypt?
Okay, that means important now, as I will make you know more about Egypt, and I'll be your tour guide. You can ask whatever you want, but after this, my short trip in Egypt. As we see, Egypt has a lot of features of geographical distributions and population characters. It doesn't have just only type, or it's just desert, or shores, or Nile River. It has a variety, which makes it a country in where have a lot of cultures, a lot of civil needs, a lot of population variations, and just what we will see now. No, just press the arrow on the bottom. Okay, I will start with Delta. Delta is a part where Nile River is present. Nile River, which means water, which means fertilized soil, which means just a people or Egyptian man just focus on agriculture, just focus on building his own rural life, just focus on stabilization here. So he finds water, but unfortunately without equal distribution. So what did he do? He just developed new ways of irrigation that makes water more well distributed, so he could be able to build up his own rural community, like we see here. From Delta, it's just fertilized soil without producing anything. It became a community which produces crops, which has animals, which has a lot of products of his effort. And now we just have a little part about Delta to be able to continue our trip. And now we move into a very weird and very strange culture, which is Bedouin. Bedouin language means the people who live out in the desert, where there's no this technology, where there's no luxurious features even till now. We may have this technology evolution here, but it's still limited in desert. I just have these two icons. I have just my palm tree, I have just my camel, and of course, this all around with my water. But what can I do with these icons? Just, I will eat dates and just eat camel meat, and thank God I am leaving now. No, this is not an Egyptian man. What an Egyptian man is? Okay, he just made the best use of everything. He just made palm tree leaves in doing this. Oh, is Egyptian man, does Egyptian man feed elephant leaves? No. This picture means for me here what I want you to know. Even animals do prefer palm leaves than normal plants. But why? They can stay longer greener. They can, I think it's more delicious for them. I haven't tried it before, but I think that all of animals prefer them. And the Egyptian man doesn't just eat his animals. No, he also made a thing for himself. He made these handicrafts. This is used in like rooms, like bracelets, like roof of houses, and so on. And this is still now it's made of palm tree leaves, not just in our technology. I made it in my country factory or something. No, it's still made in Bedouin and desert, and all of us use it and see it's so fashionable. And I need it in my flat. It would be cool. This is Bedouin. No, palm tree doesn't end here. We will continue in this part, which appears doesn't have anything important. No, we don't know what Egyptian man did with it. Okay, it's door. This is useless part. I made this in the door. My life can protect me from a lot of things. It's a roof. It's very powerful. Oh, this is a part of funny thing, but it's weird. I wanted to mention this day. We found that the most upper part in palm tree with the inner aspect of leaves. Can you imagine with me? This part is called palm tree heart. But do you think quickly why may we call it like that? Have everyone ever read it before? Palm tree heart. Okay, just because of time. I want to brainstorm with you, but it's too late. It's time. We are saying that if we remove this part, palm tree will die. We don't know what is the really use of this part to the palm tree, but we just found that it dies after removal of this part. So people say it's like it's heart, which can't live without it, not like us. So in our culture, there is a lot of sayings. I won't say it again here, as you may not understand it. But a lot of sayings just treat the palm tree as a human living. I didn't know why before, but honestly, I just knew this information yesterday when I'm doing my presentation. So thank you. Okay, let's continue. Now we will move to the common use of palm trees that we all know. It's our dates. Dates are this is part. I'm a doctor. Sorry, I will mention use the dates. It's the fastest and most valuable food to our body. If I have hypoglycemia or something, and I don't have, of course, my cane and my glucose and so on, and I have to handle now, I will not choose anything but dates. It's the most and fastest valuable food that can be so fastly absorbed, and it's so useful. And every day we just find a new benefit of it. So eat it. Okay, this is Kamel. Oh, I'm so sorry for him as it's being used in everything. But actually, we eat its meat. But it's normal. I can't find the meat in other animals. But now our Kamel may make us a very cool blazer, very elegant blazer with its hair. And we can have his smell. Its smell. Okay, sorry, I just treat it as a human. It's so cute, so useful. It's just it's an animal. Is it an animal? It's the shape of desert. It's the most useful and fastest animal in desert. Can we live without it in desert? I don't think so. Egypt man just knew this benefit of a camel. It is a magnificent icon for him. Thank you, my camel. Okay, I know it's too short, but now I have to take you to another place in Egypt, and this is the most place you may have find it, and it's the most fun to remind myself too. It's a Red Sea, where sports and swimming. I don't have swimming. Oh, this is a resource. This is just a photo. There are a lot of photos. There's a beautiful and magnificent and charming nature. I want all you see, and I invite you all in this next summer to come to me, and I will see all of these. But Egyptian man just knew his resource, just knew what may he do to make the best use of it? What he should do to be better, to be a really human guy who deserves to be respected. He knew his charming nature. He doesn't leave it. He wasn't careless with it. No, he just make the best of use it to be the main income and main source of foreign currency to Egypt. And made a lot of charming handmade, like he built hotels, he initiated new sports, he just made the best use of this nature, this charming nature. It's really charming and serves to be seen. So we could get these people to us and they enjoyed a lot. I promise, if you come, you will have enjoyed a lot like them. And now it's the most fun, the most important part for me, but I have to leave it to move to the greatest part in the world. I won't say this time it's the greatest part in Egypt, as we all till now we all don't know how these people they're so great like that. I wanted to be great like pharaohs, our pharaohs. Who doesn't know our pharaohs? Who made just in front of this accomplishment just don't say, wow, this is just a bit, a little. This is just little photos of their accomplishment. Everything Pharaohs has done, it's magnificent. It's really magnificent. Everything, every tiny paper. How this quality. There wasn't a supervisor, there wasn't a manager, there wasn't accreditation, but they showed a lot of intention and care to the quality, to the beautiful, to the architecture, to the colors, to everything. Okay, I will just pass these photos as if I talk about them, I want them today. Okay? Okay, but I will stop here just for a moment to show this is one of the world masters that we all till now don't know about it. It's mummification. Why did really do that? We don't know. How did they really do that? We don't know too. But it's one of masters that we all go and see and watch our mummies and say, wow, they are great people, but just we stop here. We don't know other things. Okay, again. I will stop here so second time to say these people given attention to education, to writing, to archiving, when all people they even know about it. They even didn't appreciate how archiving make my accomplishments, make my deeds immortal, make it present all of. But these people just knew them. Okay, now I couldn't take my sight away from these pyramids, the great pyramids, which have been built in age where isn't techniques, machines, and architecture, and this is the evolution of knowledge, but they have been built in this age, and they remain to now, and I think it will remain forever, as no one just knows how they are built, so no one just knows how it can destroy it. What do you think? It's my personal opinion, it's my just opinion, why they are still here till now and will stay forever, as no one knows about them, except they are so beautiful. And we'll see photos of them just quickly. Okay. It's a high dam, which made a revolution in Egyptian life, which make him able to produce electricity, which we use it now. And finally, I will stop in picture. Just I want to know your perception and how do you think of it? This is my last slide, but I want to know quickly, just scattered. Anyone just tell me when he sees this picture, what does it feel?
This is like an old coin.
It's old coin, this is true, but why do I put old coin here? Do I want to know it's about currency? It's cancelled from YouTube. Yeah. Quickly. Okay. Sorry for interrupting, but my colleagues just want to complete the presentation. I will tell you what I have thought about it. It's a coin which has two sides, contrast side. He's an Egyptian guy, Egyptian man, an Egyptian who had adaptation in his life, in his soul, and had a creation. He didn't just give an objection, I don't have resources, I have a lot of deserts, I won't live here. No, he adapted with that nature, he created in it. He hadn't a satisfaction feeling, and I will just say that. No, he created a lot of things. This man, and it's, I want this picture again, it's an infinity for me. No one can expect or imagine what may Egyptian guy or Egyptian man do, or what may he be, his fate, his future. He may have a lot of downs and ups, but no one may expect to when or to what extent he will stop. As we have never known before, I don't think we will know that for tomorrow. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Hi everybody, I'm Yusrina from Egypt, and I will talk to you now about religion in Egypt and diversity. We consider Egypt as a focus of religion. It has the three heaven religions: Islam, Christianity, or Jewish. Okay, it's a picture of all the church. Sorry, all the church and old mosque. Islam is the official religion in Egypt since 1971 of the constitution, considered as official religion in Egypt. It was about 94 or something, and it became in 20.
Uh-huh. 2012.
2012. It became 19, and Christianity increases from 6 to 10%. Okay, next. The most popular religion in Egypt is Christianity and Islam and Jewish. But Christianity and Islam is the most popular than Jewish. Jewish is just 22.
Individuals.
Small number. Christianity is a large restoration religion in the world. Is the oldest one in Egypt. Is the oldest one, and in all the world, in 1/3% of all population in the world. But in Egypt is a small percent, 10% only, and Christianity is 1.3 billion in the world all, and its official language in 126 countries all over the world. Okay, that's about Christianity. And Islam. Islam is the second largest religion in the world. It became 1.6 billion, and in Egypt, it's, as we said, is official religion. 19% in Egypt, and Egypt is the highest percent of in the Arab world of Islam, and it's the second in all the world. The one in the Arab world, and the second in all over the world. Okay, next. Jewish is rarely in Egypt. It's about 200 or almost, and it's not popular. But we have a lot of museums in Egypt about Jewish. In Egypt, in all our life, we linked social life with religion, all things. Politics, legislation, or rather, Muslim Islam religion legislation is what the law in Egypt. It controls the law in Egypt. And in politics, we have some problems in connecting religious with politics and what happened in Egypt, the last stage. Okay, that's what happened in El Tahrir Square. Okay. Religious institutions in Egypt, they are three. Al-Azhar, it's famous in all the Arab world, and Dar al-Ifta, it's something, it's a place to
get legislation.
To get legislation and things about religion, Islam religious. Okay. And the Coptic Orthodox Church, it's by Mary Morus. It's the oldest one who know Christianity in Egypt. Okay. Okay. In the last period, Christianity suffers a lot. In most stages, not in this old, from the Neron and Diocletianus, it was a so bad stage in Egypt. We called it the stage of martyrs. Okay, that's what happened in Egypt. Next stage, the last stage, burning churches, burning and bombs. Sorry, bombs and exclusive or something like that. It's supposed to be a church. It's called كنيسة القديسين, if you know about it.
What's called?
القديسين Church. What happened? Bomb in the Christmas day at night, and I think about
2012.
2010.
yes. Next, Nada.
It's over.
Yes. Hello, okay.
Yeah.
So it's about religion. Okay, I'm sorry.
9, they're good.
Women, Egyptian women. So I'm gonna start with Pharaohs area. Pharaohs was the most people that respect women. Men was equal to women. They treat them well. They had farming working. They have house working. They could do anything they want. They even we had queens like Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut was the first queen in Egyptian. She was strong, so strong. She brought all the good to Egyptian people. Then Cleopatra. Actually, in the past, they called the woman the Vizier, which means the lady. So they really respect this woman. After the era of the pharaohs, we get the Islam. At first, Islam didn't respect the woman because Muslim men misunderstood the religion, so they treat them bad, very bad. At the first of this time, and there was a mix, and they buy and sell girls. And at this period also, we have queen like Shajarat al-Durr. She was a strong queen for Egypt, and then we moved to Sassaniid period. This period was a really sad period for Egyptian women. The men thought that just women have been existed in this world just for do what he want and do what he need just for this thing. So they hit her, treat her so bad, hurt her so much, and Egyptian woman, just try, always just try. She never gave up. So next, women go out their doors and their houses and go for evolution in 1919. They have a vital role in this evolution, and women began to stand and have a voice. So after that, she just keep trying until she get to business work community. She have a position, really good position in our community now, and then they continue to be on the lead. They try to be like equal to men, and then we get to women in 25 revolution. They go out again and do go to the evolution of this day, and they a lot of women, Egyptian women, that have a strong will. So we think that Egyptian women just like this picture, but we can go and election to help to build our community. Also, we have these well-educated women, and Egyptian women can do anything they want because we have strong will. We can do everything we want. We go give a shit to whatever man said or these things. We don't care about these things. So, like me. Thank you.
So, guys, can you fix me the...
I think everyone was like.
Okay, everyone. I'm Yusuf from Egypt, like most of you know. So I want to show you where I live. Here is me. Where I'm living, under the pyramid. Like you see, the camel is my way of transportation in Egypt. It's a common transportation. That's Wi-Fi. And my laptop, that's how I'm connecting with you all. That's why I'm plugged here. And like you see, we have one McDonald's here. So we can have fast food. Okay, everyone. It's like a silly stereotype that many Americans have for Egypt, I think. So I would like to show you the real place where I come from. I'm from Alexandria, which is the second biggest city in Egypt. Like you see, it's on the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, this is my city. I think it's a beautiful one. So this is a famous place. It's the Biblioteca of Alexandria. The Alexandrian Library. This is me. This is my college. I study in the Faculty of Engineering at Alexandria University. I was graduated from this school, Stanmore College. This is my school. And now I would like to discuss a topic. It's the relation between the US and Egypt through time. Okay. I will discuss three aspects: the political and foreign policy acted by the state here toward Egypt, and the economical and cultural. When we talk about political, it's foreign policy of the U.S. toward Egypt. I think it's a bit confusing because it changed through time. I would like to go to start with the 1950s, after the revolution or coup that was made by Abdel Nasser. I think U.S. regarded Egypt as the strongest country in the Arab world and maybe the leader one. So they had interest to have a strong relation with it. They wanted to protect the Israel borders and to keep it safe without bothering the Arab world. And also they saw that maybe Egypt can be a potential communist satellite state under the influence of the U.S. Of the Soviet Union. So what really was going on that Eisenhower made like the Eisenhower doctrine, which was a speech in the Congress regarding the Middle East. He said that U.S. should help the Middle East countries that ask for financial aid or anything. So after the coup, I think U.S. can give money to any country that had a coup. So it was really confusing because they didn't know how to act. They wanted to help Egypt and to have a strong relation with it because it's the largest country in the Arab world. And at the same time, they have principle that they can't help a country with a coup was there. So after Abdel Nasser came, Eisenhower started to give, I think, military aid to Egypt, and military aid to Egypt, yeah. And they helped when Abdel Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal. The British and France and Israel conquered Egypt, so the U.S. had a great influence to get the Britain and France out of it, because they didn't want they wanted to help Egypt to get free and to not obey them. Then there was the 1979 when Carter helped to make the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. Here we see the President Anwar Sadat shaking hands with the Israeli Prime Minister, and this is James Carter. So we can go now to what happened after the revolution of 21st of January. The response of U.S. to it was really good for us because I can show you a video. This is how Barack Obama, the speech Barack Obama gave the night Mubarak was stepped out of the.
There are very few moments in our lives where we have the privilege to witness history taking place. This is one of those moments. This is one of those times. The people of Egypt have spoken, their voices have been heard, and Egypt will never be the same. By stepping down, President Mubarak responded to the Egyptian people's hunger for change. But this is not the end of Egypt's transition. It's a beginning. I'm sure there will be difficult days ahead, and many questions remain unanswered. But I am confident that the people of Egypt can find the answers and do so peacefully, constructively, and in the spirit of unity.
Okay, because I don't have time, so we can bullshit all of it. Like you see, the speech he gave made the Egyptian feel, yeah, now U.S. is with us. Now it's on our side. We felt like, okay, there's a hope that the relation between us and U.S. will change, and we'll be a good allies. But 2 years ago, this is a picture of me participating in the demonstration of June 30th, 2011. We waited for the US response, and we waited to see how they would react. So this is what we got. Oh my God. This is what the US reaction. We had nothing. It was very confusing because if you think it's cool, say it's cool. If you think it's a revolution, say it's a revolution. But don't do this. Don't leave us without knowing how you see it and how you're going to react with a big country that has a big influence in the world. So maybe the popularity of US in Egypt lowered a lot after it, in both sides, for Muslim Brotherhood, for supporters of the June 30s. So it wasn't a good reaction from them. Now I'm going to talk about the economical influence. After the peace treaty, James Carter started to give Egypt a financial aid. It's average about $2 billion a year. It went to education and to help Egypt economically. And also we had a military aid. It consists of F-16 fighters and Apache and tankers and stuff. Other forms of economic influence. We have a lot varieties of U.S. companies in Egypt, like Coca-Cola, P&G, and McDonald's. They help in the economy of our country. So cultural, like you see, we're not isolated from the U.S. at all. I know everything what's going on here because of this stuff. You know, we watch all movies. We know your culture. We listen to all your music, like Katy Perry, all of them. I watch Breaking Bad. I like it. So, like you see, we're not isolated at all. We know a bit of American culture. I hope you will get to know us more. So, thank you. My colleague.
Hello, my name is Rehab Osama from Qina, Egypt. Qina, it's a governorate in Upper Egypt, which means in the south of Egypt. I'm 19 years old. I would like to talk so quickly about education and community in Egypt. We have an education system which is quite different from the American one. So if we compare, here you have the grades, grade 1 till the grade 12. But in Egypt we have like phases or stages, like kindergarten, which is 2 years. These 2 years are very, it's the same in the US. And then primary school, which is 6 years, which is called primary school, and preparatory schools are called the basic of education in Egypt. So preparatory school are 3 years, and then we have the secondary school, which is also 3 years, and then everybody goes to the university at about the age of 18 or some kind of 19. And then we spend at university like from 4 years to 7 years. It depends on the college. Like medicine, it takes 7 years, and like English literature, which I study, it takes just 4 years. And then we have connecting to education, which is holidays. We have some kind of holidays in Egypt, which is about national holidays and religious holidays. National ones, I will tell you about some examples, like January 25th, which is it used to be the celebration of Police Day,
but after the revolution of 2011, it became the day to celebrate the revolution of the 2011. And also we have May the 1st, which is Labor Day, and also we have Christmas Day, which is on the January 7th, and we have also Mother's Day, which is different from here. I guess the date is different. We have it on March 21st. And about religious holidays, we have as Muslims, we have two main religious holidays, which is Al-Fitr. It's an Arabic word which means the celebration of sacrifice. And also we have Al-Adha, which is for sacrifice, and Al-Fitr, which is after Ramadan, which we will celebrate here with you. And it's about our holidays, and we also have we celebrate some kinds of days. You celebrate it here in common, but differently, and which has different names, maybe, kind of. And sometimes we celebrate the same day, but the celebrate idea or the common thing, but differently and in different dates. Then we have. I will talk about education and life. I will tell you about my opinion about education in Egypt, which is no, it's not good. And that's why we are always searching for scholarships and something like that to study abroad Egypt, outside Egypt, because we believe that our minds, our government doesn't care about our education, unfortunately. So I guess it's we have a lot of perspectives here, but for me, it's a kind of policy system, which when you want to make your nation so bad or not developing, you just exploit education, because education is the main source of open-minding and about exploring the world and exploring sciences, which is the main key of developing countries. So about illiteracy, we have about 40% in Egypt who cannot read, unfortunately. And I'm not sure about this percentage, but it's kind of real, because yes, we have many of towns or small cities which really no one can read or write, and this is so bad. It affects the community and the other people around it. And also the budget of education is very low in Egypt. I know that it's the lowest budget in our government, comparing to, for example, the U.S. No, in the U.S. They care about education, so the budget, I don't know how much the percentage is, but I know that it's higher, or it's better than in Egypt. And another reason, which is routine. Like if you like to study something or to do something differently, you just have to stick to the routine, and this is very boring process, and you have to wait for many years to get what you want in a correct way. And also the system. I'm talking negatively now about the bad sides, but there are white sides. I hope about system. It's like you have to stick to a specific line and not to get out of it. Like, for example, I like to study a double major in my country beside English literature, but because of the system, it doesn't exist there in Egypt, so I cannot study a double major. That's why it's a kind of preventing people of learning more, and I'm wondering why they have these rules. I am the one who will study, who will get tired, who will get into the exam. So what is the wisdom? I don't know. And finally, political visions, as I said before, which is kind of preventing the nation of getting developed. It's kind of policy. I don't really understand it so much, but I know there is like poisons in our education. So they don't allow anyone to, like, if there are some people who want to develop education, they just stop him or her, and unfortunately they want to go to another country to find themselves. So it's so bad to have in Egypt. But we have the white sides of the education in Egypt, which is like, I am an anti-system in Egypt, which means I don't like the system which is followed in education. So I have my own ways to learn more. I have, we can say the internet is the best way, so I can depend on myself and learn and learn more, which is the self-learning. I mean, we here, the 6 Egyptian, I think we wouldn't give this a chance to come here if we didn't search and didn't like seek to get this a chance. So we are not, they say in Egypt, we are not a normal students, because we think differently, kind of differently other than other students, and that's satisfying for me, of course. And also like scholarships, which is it was a very common system in our country since Muhammad Ali. He was like a king, kind of king, but not king, sultan. Okay, it's an Arabic word. He tried to fix education since many years ago, many hundreds of years ago, and he cared about the scholarships to send people or delegations to like France when there was a good education there, and to exchange the education from other countries to get his nation better. But now, unfortunately, we don't have this kind of ruler. So we hope to get one like him in education, because he was doing other bad things. But in education, he was very good. He cared so much about scholarships and developing the minds of students. What I'm proud of is some examples who are Egyptian, but and who lived just like us, but they thought differently, and they found their own way to be not to accept their destiny like that, and to fight to get their rights in education. Like Dr. Ahmed Zuwaid, you know him, he is called the father of femtochemistry. He invented the femtosecond, you know. Who doesn't know Dr. Ahmed Well?
Oh.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's better to ask
Okay, who knows him? Just to have us, my spirit high. Okay, he's a very popular scientist. He won the Nobel Prize in 1999. He was the first Egyptian to win this prize.
The first.
So the first in science, but the third as an Egyptian. Like we have Anwar Sadat, the president, in peace, and Naguib Mahfouz in literature, and he was the third Egyptian to win this prize. Another example, which is Dr. Farouk Al-Baz. Who knows Dr. Farouk Al-Baz? No one. Like almost the Arab one. So okay, he is a famous scientist also, but in space science, and he got many achievements, and he made difference, and he was one of the persons who were planning to explore the moon and to get, the Apollo ship. He was one of the main professors in this delegation. So although we have a bad education, but if we want like us, we fight for a better education. And those two examples are just examples to make me proud enough that yes, it's not about our minds, but it's about the facility of education in our countries, and this is out of our hands. And then, thank you. I'm done.
So, hello guys, I am Bilal, and I study faculty education. I study international education and English literature. So what I want to talk about today is turning points. The turning points in the course of the history in Egypt that led to Egypt to be at the position that it is right now. So if you could go. So this is the first turning point, I guess. It's called Egypt Eyalet. Eyalet is a Turkish word, means country. And at 1517, Egypt was conquered by the Ottoman Empire. And starting from this, and Egypt was after that, Egypt was some kind of a country that is related to the Ottoman Empire. Starting from this moment, Egypt became, there was a rising awareness of Egypt's role, because the Ottoman Empire was depending so much about Egypt's resources, depending so much about Egyptian soldiers in the Turkish army. So starting from this moment, there was this was a rising awareness of Egypt's role as some kind of a leader in the Arab world and the Islamic world. So this, I guess, Egypt was a part of the Islamic world, Egypt was part of the Arabic world, but the thing is, it was some kind of a detached part. It was a part, but it doesn't know any big role or something. But starting from this point, the people of Egypt, or the people who ruled Egypt after that point, they started to get this awareness of Egypt's role, of Egypt's possibilities, of Egypt's resources, and things like that. So starting from this point, I think it's a shifting point in Egypt's history, because starting from this point, and Egypt starts to become the key of the Arab world. So if you get Egypt's consent of something, then you probably get the consent of other Arab worlds, of other Arab world countries. So maybe slow. So this is some pictures of So this is some kind of picture Egypt got conquered by the Turkish. They beat us. Yeah, they beat the hell out of us. So after that, you get the French occupation, or the French campaign in Egypt. So the French campaign in Egypt lasted for 3 days, and Napoleon had this aim. 3 years. Napoleon had this aim to establish an empire, a big empire in the Middle East, and he was to start with Egypt. So the interesting thing here is that the French campaign was consisted of I guess 18,000 soldiers, and they get to beat the hell out of 400,000 Mamlukian, because of their technological, because they had guns, because they had powder, because they had tactics and strategies and things like that. And the other thing is, Napoleon, as I said, like wanted to establish an empire in the Middle East. And to do that, he got with like about 1,000 scientists and engineers and builders and things like painters and artists and things like that. So it was like a culture shock for the Egyptian, because they lived like in some kind of they were living some kind of like they don't have any means of communication with what's going on in the world. They didn't have any means of communication with what's going on in Europe. They couldn't imagine how the European countries are developed. So the Egyptian campaign was some kind of a culture shock to the Egyptians to wake up. The world is like going on, and you're still at the same positions. They're like defeat. Because logically they're like, we're gonna beat the hell out of the French because they're only like 18,000, but the French just like whoo. So and because of like so they started to realize more how the world is moving on. So this was like a huge turning point, because after the French campaign was gone, there's starting to be people going to Europe to get educated, people like to get educated and come back to start doing something. So I guess that was really shifting point, to have people to know what's going on in the outside world. That was a shifting point, and a huge shifting point, I guess. So these are like pictures of the French campaign, and we got the 1952 coup. Some people would say revolution, but I guess it's hard to manipulate people's minds, because at this time, in the 50s, there was only like one national newspaper, and one radio channel. So if you just like said the news, everybody's gonna believe it, because that's the only source. They didn't have like social websites or anything like that. So what happened here is that we have a monarchy in Egypt and we have a king. So what happened here is like a group of the army soldiers, group of the army generals, they just ousted this king and got in presidency. They got ruled. And the interesting thing here that really supports my idea that it is a coup. The Egyptian army consisted of like 15,000 soldiers, because we were under the British protectorate, I guess. And there was like 80,000 British soldiers in Egypt at this time. So if it was a revolution, like a national revolution as they tried to portray it, and it was good for the country, probably the British soldiers would do something about it, Like there were like 80,000 British soldiers and they didn't do anything, they just watched. So so what happened here is like, and if you could make a little research about the conditions of Egypt during the monarchy and the conditions of Egypt after this so-called revolution, the conditions, Egypt, though the king was really corrupted, but the conditions were totally and completely better. Like the Egyptian pound was like worth $2 or something, or $3, I guess, and the Egyptian gold was really, really expensive. So the thing is, the conditions in Egypt were totally better. So what happened here is like, and starting from this point, the generals of the army, there was like this guy. Can you move 2 slides? One more? Yeah, this guy is called Mohammed Naguib. He was the chief of the army, and he was like really supporting the idea of making elections in a democratic way, and just like to the army to give the power to like more civil powers. What happened here is this guy that next to him, this Nasser, he ousted Mohammed Naguib a year after the revolution, the so-called revolution, and he kept it in like a villa in a very remote place in Egypt, and he got in presidency. And the interesting thing here that all the elections that Nasser goes in, he was no opposition at all. That nobody's facing Nasser, and he was like 19.9%, which is like so-called Republican democracy in Egypt. So starting from this point, which is a huge shifting point for me, was like the military rule started in Egypt. And the interesting thing here is also the people who ran Egypt started to build this awareness of how media could like control people, because through media, because we have got like 3 wars during Nasser reigns, and we lost all of these wars, which led the country to total bankruptcy, and which was so bad for the country. But still, after Nasser died, people would say, "Yeah, Nasser, he was a great leader. For the love of God, you lost 3 wars during his time." So, but he was still doing that because of, as I said, like during these times there was like only one national newspaper, and only like one like radio channel or 2, and so they get to totally control people's minds. So the other, which is like 1979 peace treaty, is like also for me is a turning point at the Egyptian history, because it totally changed the doctrine of the Egyptian soldiers, you know, the notion of the Egyptian soldiers, because the Egyptian soldiers before the 1979 was trained and with this idea that Israel is the enemy, that we should go back and take all these lands that Israel got, Palestine and El Golan and Syria, and all these lands, we should get it back. Israel is the enemy is from the east. So that was before the 1979 treaty. And the thing is, the interesting thing here is that the peace treaty was so bad for Egypt. Like, we have to give natural gas to Israel with low prices, very low prices. We have to give them like the wheat and flour and things like that with really low prices. So it was like totally and completely bad, and it changed the notion and the doctrine of the Egyptian soldiers, because now the Egyptian soldiers, like, they don't consider Israel as an enemy at all, and they just like all they do is like to learn how to suppress their people. So the thing is, I don't mind like the peace treaty, but it was like if we would get the same share. But the thing about the peace treaty, it was all good for Israel, and there was nothing for us at all. Like, we had nothing. Even Sinai, that we were supposed to get in the war 1973 to get it, we have no control of it. It's like, so what we got at this peace treaty is nothing, and we get shifted like the doctrine and the notions of the Egyptian soldiers. So it's really so bad for us, and it's like, and it's also like shifted the mentality of the Egyptian generals, because if I was them, like, why bother myself like going to war while I could sit back in a comfortable place and get all this like military aids from the United States and get it all from me. And the interesting thing here is, like, I read this somewhere that, I don't know, last year or the year that preceded, that was before the revolution, the 25th of January revolution, it was like huge billions that got to the generals of the Egyptian army, and only 1 billion that got into the Egypt. All of the others are like for their bank accounts. So it shifted also like the notion and the mentality of the Egyptian generals of the army. So that was it, I guess. That was my topic, and that's concluded our presentations. But we wanted to talk briefly about the political situation in Egypt. I want to show you like how, concerning the political situation, how we are so divided, you know, in Egypt. So each and every one of us like to talk for a minute or two about how we see the political situation, how we interpret the last 3 years in Egypt. And I would start by saying that, like, after the 25th of January, we got the idea that we removed the system, but the system was still there. We just like removed the head of the system. So when Morsi came in presidency, they tried to put some, like, Morsi have done like really bad things. He done really bad things, but he never was like corrupted. He never stole money. I never done these things. He was living in a rented apartment, which is very good. I mean, it was very good for me to see a resident of Egypt like living in a rented apartment after these huge palaces of Mubarak and things like that. So after Morsi was out, during the first year of Morsi, during Morsi's presidency, the people who were like ran the old regime was still there in the country, and they tried to put many obstacles in his way. And during the year of Morsi, the interesting thing about me is during the years of Morsi, I was about to be kicked out of my party, because they're always saying that Morsi was doing like bad things. He was doing bad things. He was doing bad things. But after Morsi ousted, I was trying to say, no, we should have Morsi's back, because for me, Morsi is like a symbol of the legitimacy of our revolution, because we did this revolution to make some kind of change, to have an elected president. So Morsi, I would say that the best way to remove Morsi is not by tanks, it's not by putting our hands with the generals of the army. The best way was to remove Morsi, which I was to do it after 3 years, is by elections, because this is like, if you get the president of many people who approve this president, and if you get it moved by tanks, then they have the right to remove you, the president you choose, after 1 year also of his presidency, by tanks or by whatever. So the interesting thing, the thing for me is like to approve some kind of a criteria that we all accepted, and then we apply this criteria in order not to have conflicts and civil wars or something. And that's what didn't happen in Egypt. So that's the way I see it. Like, I didn't like Morsi, but I didn't want it to go this way, like by tanks and by the restoration of the old regime. So that's it. Thank you guys, and
Okay, I would like to express how I see what's going on in Egypt. You know, when you study very hard, then you go to exam, and you keep answering very good question, and then when you give your paper, someone came and raised your name and took your work. That's what's happened. Well, that's what Muslim Brotherhood did to us. We did the revolution, the 25th of January. So when we went to street, the Muslim Brotherhood was like, okay, we'll see. If it's went good, we will go down. If it's not, we're safe and we'll not go back to prison. And Mubarak will keep us in the image. So when people went down and people had protests and big crowds, Muslim Brotherhood after 3 days came down, and they stole our revolution. So am I trusting the Muslim Brotherhood? No. Am I sorry for Morsi? No. I participated in the 21st of January and the June 30th, 2013. The 1 year of rule of Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt it's big, it's not awful. I can't find expression to see how it was. They don't raid the Egyptian flag. They have their own flag. They have their own constitution. They don't have the Egyptian identity. When the Egyptian anthem is there, they don't stand for it. So should I care? No. Am I a supporter of Sisi? No, I didn't go to elections. I'm not with the military rule too. I'm not with them or them. I see that when you have 50% of the Egyptians are uneducated, and poverty is 60%, you can give people the right to vote to go. They don't own their vote. Someone will give them something to go to vote. They don't understand. They don't know the meaning of the constitution. So if we did 10 revolution, nothing will change. Because we must go and aware people. We must start from the bottom. We must start with the children. Go to streets, go to schools. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm participating in the civic engagement program. I'm saying that we must start from the very start. Not doing a revolution. Yeah, let's go to election. People don't understand what election is, so we don't expect them to have the real vote. So I'm not sorry for Morsi. I'm not a supporter of Sisi. I'm not happy what's going on, but I still have hope, and I'm still willing that we can make a change. So that's it. Maybe. Okay.
Can I just ask a follow-up question? I mean, are you saying that? I mean, was it a mistake to hold elections?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We are not ready for democracy. Egypt is not ready for democracy, and that's what it's obvious now.
Democracy takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time, but we can.
Do you think 1 year is enough for Morsi to show that he's a good president? Because it's been 30 years for Mubarak,
Yeah.
and you want Morsi to repair everything in 1 year?
No, I wasn't expecting Morsi to repair anything. I just wanted him to keep us in the image. I'm liberal and I'm not an Islamist, or I don't believe in mixing religion and politics. So when I didn't vote for Morsi too, but many liberals did, and he was putting a great thing that he will do when he come to rule. But the reality was that Morsi even didn't rule. The Muslim Brotherhood and Mahdi Akif at the top of it was the real one who was ruling the country. So when you don't care for us and when you don't care for the constitution, when they were writing constitution, about 20% was out, and next day the constitution was go to vote. So you don't care for us. So why should I care for you? That's it.
When you say Egypt is not ready for democracy, so what is the solution? If it is not democracy, what is the other?
I was talking to Westy, I think. I'm believing that to have a real democracy, you must have a fair dictator who loves the country, who is willing to establish a democracy. He came and he must come to rule, and he must force people to learn, force people to obey rule, force people to know the real meaning of identity and democracy, and then go to vote.
How do you control a dictator and prevent him from
How
do you prevent a dictator from becoming power hungry?
Okay. I see that there's many examples in history that happened, like maybe in Turkey. I see Ataturk he was a real dictator, but he established for a democracy there. And even here in US, who wrote the Constitution? The founding fathers. I think it wasn't real representation of all of God of Americans. It's like a type of it's like a dictator who wrote it, but they were willing to establish a democracy.
If you will choose between democracy and stability in Egypt, which would you choose? Democracy or stability?
I'm not with the one who say let's forget about democracy and have stability. But like I said, our role here, our role. I choose for democracy, but because I'm educated and I know how to go and I know what constitution is. But don't force poor people to go to elections and make them choose something they don't understand. Like I said, we should start from the bottom. We should start with the poor people, the poverty, the uneducated ones.
Can I have a question? Like when you start from the bottom, you get encountered by the government. Like when you try to do something for the people, you get encountered by the government.
Okay, I'm already working. I'm already working for 3 years now with this issue. So not once the government had influence on us. We did whatever we wanted, and we taught children how to speak, how to have freedom of speech, little ones. So and no one came to us and said stop doing this or stop doing that. So of course maybe some other had influenced by the government, but from my experience I didn't have one.
So the solution is improving the educational situation in Egypt.
Yeah.
And it takes at least like decades,
Yeah.
not like many years.
Yeah.
So the option is to have for the moment a dictator who teach people democracy. I mean for decades.
Yeah.
Is that the solution?
I thought we must have a fair dictator. Is Sisi a fair one? I don't know. I'm not believing it. I don't support him, and I'm not saying something that will happen. So I'm saying maybe I'm hoping that we'll find someone who will come to rule and have this ethics and these principles to me.
Do you think it's possible to have a strong democratic leader instead of a concept of a benevolent dictator? Do you think that it is possible
In
for
Egypt?
Yeah, it is possible for a democratically minded person who is strong-willed to achieve the change you need?
Really, we didn't have options. We can't see anyone who's like you said, a strong democratic with a vision to what's going on. And our democratic experience wasn't that good with Morsi and Muslim Brotherhood. So no, my father is a big supporter of Sisi, and when I'm saying to him, "Oh no, Sisi what? He's not the man who can lead this country," he says to me, "Okay, no Sisi, who?" And I'm like, "Okay, we don't have options. We don't have options." My fellows. Well,
So you mentioned that you hope that you find someone that can to Egypt. Do you think that hope is not enough for Egypt now? As a youth, you are a youth from Egypt. I think it's your role now to take the floor in Egypt and to do and to correct the mistake that others made.
That's what I'm saying. That we must work. We must start. We youth and we are the ones who love our country. How to, like I said, start from the children. Start from the poor ones and the uneducated. Have like awareness campaigns.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Like when you're starting from the bottom, you get encountered by problems like poverty, a poor educational system, and things like that. To solve these problems, you have to work on the government, and the government doesn't do these problems.
You don't have to go and give them money. No, that's not what I'm. You have to make them how to value life and value and to have aware them about all the things that's what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. Do you believe that most of Egyptians understand what's going on in Egypt?
It's just like a man working for like 14 or 15 hours. That would be really hard to teach him to go.
No.
To go and to have some kind of perspectives and points.
It's hard. It's not impossible because, like I said, I'm working like 3 years now, and I've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot of these situations and these cases, and believe me, there is hope that they can change and they can be better.
So what you're saying is pumping money into the government isn't going to be successful because the government isn't stable.
Yeah.
So in order to change that, you need to create like a stable education system. But how are you going to do that without, like, where's the money going to come from, and how are you going to like create some kind of order in order to like educate people?
Like having a non-profit organization or non-governmental organization that are self-funding, like mine. We are self-funding. I pay for what I'm doing. I give money. So maybe that's a solution, but it's not the only one. Every one of us have like someone who works for him at home. He can start with him. It's not like you have to go to an NGO or a non-profit organization to start teaching or start learning. You can start by the ones who around you, but nobody cares. The problem in the majority of Egyptians, nobody cares.
Go ahead. So, I'll be asking if you want to be a president.
If you want
the president.
Do you want to be the president?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Do you want to be the president? And if you are the president, how you will manage the situation, and how you will install democracy in Egypt?
The idea is every president who comes is like afraid of people's reactions. So he listens too much of what people would react to his decisions, even if it's the right one for the country. So becoming the president, first thing to do is to care less for what people say for just a moment. You have like your own decision that you know that maybe it's gonna make a change. Do it, and people will protest. Maybe they will see the results. Maybe in a short term, they will know that you were right. But listening too much to people, listening too much to protest, you have a lot of diversity in Egypt. So you can't make them all appeal to what you're doing.
So, I'm sorry, but if democracy is not the solution, you can find someone who do this.
Democracy. I'm not saying democracy is not a solution. I'm saying democracy is not the first step. The situation in Egypt is really very different of any other countries in the European countries and US here. You have uneducated country, you know, like 50-60% are uneducated. So how are you expecting them to have democracy? No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm willing. My dream is to have democracy in our country. That's why I went to against Mubarak and against Morsi. And if it needs, I will go against SUSI. But you must understand that you can give them democracy from the first. Okay, do we have time? Because
can we take one more comment, and then if we want a reaction maybe from our Egyptian women about the current state of what's happening, and then I think we probably do need to move to
take a break.
You guys are doing fantastically well.
Yeah.
This is great. But
I want to ask because you are so many people, so it's very hard, and how can you address that amount of people of democracy, and you have a lot of them, they're not educated, and I know that Egyptian is a great nation, but they have like this difference, and you're from where, you're somewhere, like a lot of politicians got advantage that you are ignorant, so they gave you money and to go vote.
Yeah.
That I think what happened in Morsi. So how in future you are going to prevent that? In your opinion,
I can prevent this if you have a large amount of poverty. If you're poor, you're needy. So when you're needy, anyone who will give you something, you will do him a favor. Okay, I will go elect you. It's like this. It's not like I don't care. I don't care about voting. That's what I'm talking about. He's not caring for the party he's voting for. He's caring about the money the party is giving to him. So that's why he's voting for it.
As a bribe. as in they bribed them just to get their
Yeah.
elections.
Okay, thank you.
For Egyptian women, how many things they like to say?
Maybe choose one delegate.
Okay. My political opinion in these complex issues are I'm the kind of Egyptian who is moderate, you can say, who is not extreme to one idea, but I always keep thinking of what is going on, and I'm trying to understand, but maybe because of my age, so I don't know so much about the history of brotherhood or so much about the history of military rule. So I don't like to judge without understanding very well. So in this step or now, my mind just tells me don't judge anyone until you see what he will do. So about Morsi, this 1 year of ruling, if it was 4 years, we will see after those 4 years we can see the changes or the decisions he will take. So then I will judge if he was good or bad. But after just 1 year of just starting to rule, it's not it's not enough to judge. So it's my perspective. I can't say that he was bad or good because I didn't see, I didn't have the chance to judge what he is saying, what he will do. And now about the military rule in Egypt, I believe that it's kind of unfair because we had 30 years of ruling by the military rule, and we finally made a revolution, and everyone was protesting and against the military rule. So what gone changed? We are now in the same situation again. We have the military rule again. So there is no difference. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, I found that the idea of losing a friend or a relative because of politics or difference in opinion, it's really ridiculous and very silly for me. I cannot imagine that I can lose like Justina, for she said, no, I hate this one and I love this one. No, I can't imagine this idea. I just feel that I am moderate and I think I'm mature enough to keep this relation because we have in Egypt many people lost their friends and lost some of the one they love because of just politics, just political idea or just political opinion made them separate or just hate each other or curse each other, and this is I cannot imagine this idea. So I'm that kind. I'm not with that. I'm not with this or that. I'm still keeping thinking. Thank you.
So, first, I want to say that I hate parts, all parts, political parts, and I'm with 25 of January and the 30 of June. I'm with both. I hate brother Muslim regime. I want to reply to Mona question that you want to give Morsi long period or some of that. I think Morsi's regime is not intelligent enough because in 1 year it just make the all mess in the country. We don't have to choose because of the elections between one of the last Ahmed Shafiq and Morsi. So both is not good. So we just in this elections Christians choose Ahmed Shafiq and Muslims choose Brother Zand. Most of them. It became a problem, and Morsi controlled Egypt 1 year, and what happened in 30 of June was a people's enrage or
Upset.
Upset about the regime. I'm not with Morsi, El-Sisi. I'm not with El-Sisi. I vote for Hamdin Sabahi. So I don't like Brother Muslims regime, and it's sorry. I hate both. Now I hate all politics now. That's all.
Politics. I hate this word actually. In Egypt, political groups just think that I want to be the president. I want to be the president, but I guess that no one just care about people, Egyptian people. No one care about children. No one have agenda for helping the community, I guess. And for me, if they let me to lead the election, I'm not going to tell anyone about who is going to be the who just want to be the president. I'm going to do just the agenda for each one, and I'm going to present the agenda, the agendas of all these people, and they can just choose the agenda that going to help their community, not the political group, not this person, not brotherhood, not elementary people, not all of this. I'm going to do agenda just to help the community, to build our community, not for Christianity. We want just Christian. No, I don't like to just the person. He must be a Muslim. No, I don't care. I don't care about religion ever. I just want one thing that I really care about is just to build our community. I really want this in the future, and I'm not with brotherhood. I'm not with any political group, and I hate political groups. Thank you.
Okay, just allow me to do something extraordinary of this time. You just heard about political views a lot from my colleague. I don't think Egyptian people have sort of different ideas, a lot of this. I will mention my idea, I will mention my impression about what's happening, but I always see things from my own perspective and with my own ideas, my own thoughts. I prefer always to see, observe, analyze, and take my own notes just for myself. As when the chance is allowed for me to do something, it's not right to stand here and think, yeah, here's a chance, what shall I do? I have to be well prepared. So I will just share with you my part of my notes which I am taking out along the time, but I will mention my opinion. If I am saying now I'm against that, it won't be so fair. It won't be so based on something I am sure this has happened. Who from us in his own country knows what's happening, and he can do swear that this guy took this money for himself, and this guy is really a good guy who wants to serve this country. No one just knows. It's also wars, and we all just think, feel. We have our own perspectives all the time. I am against Muslim Brotherhood just for one thing. I won't be with anyone, mainly depending on extremity, mainly depending on violence, mainly depending on subjectivity, not objectivity. I am called Muslim Brotherhood. What do you mean with this name? Where is Christianity? Even Egypt, even so, if Egypt hasn't Christianity, will I judge you just because of your religion? And who am I to judge you? Who am I to judge you? Really, who am I to judge you? Who am I to say you're a good person for me and you're not? Who am I? And who says that I'm the best guy who knows the religion and can interpret it? But now we are talking about political party. We don't talk about religious party. So, you are political. Okay, I was very sorry for the person who's coming after these 30 years of corruption. Whoever who came. As you are coming here on a very corrupted system. Even you are a good guy. Even you're a good person. Even you have your own plans, your own vision. Have you alternative plans? Will you be able to to oppose and stand against all this corruption? No one can do it. But I wasn't so sorry for Morsi, as he is a brave guy who started to help us and a candidate in elections, as he just came to the presidency and just got shocked. Oh, this corruptive system. Didn't you know before? Hadn't you the plans before? So, if you're not God manager, this place is not for you. I won't accept any job before knowing my job description and the crises and how will I manage with it. I can't say he's a really bad guy. Days will show us all truths, and I'm waiting. But I can't say he wasn't a good manager, he wasn't efficient to do that. He just made more mess because I won't say as he's a bad guy and he had bad intentions. I'm not the guy to say what he's thinking of. Just I say he was a bad manager who hadn't plan B and C and D, and if a corrupted system who against them, it's your responsibility and it's your job to face them. This is first thing. Second thing, there are icons for me. I can't never just make my sight out them. It's the people. I know our people not very educated, don't have how democracy should be. Didn't practice a lot. But these people, all of these systems influence them. These people who have the right to choose what they would eat. All of us enter a restaurant for the first time and don't know this is good or this is good. That means I don't have the right to choose. That means the waiter comes and give me the plate and just I have to eat it, as I don't know what does it taste and what does it taste, but I will eat. So I make a choose. So I will be able later either one of two things. Either I will this don't I like it. However, I would choose it, but I will shoot it down and just. My money my money went bad, but it's okay. I would choose. I won't accept that if someone just give it to me. Take this is good. No. So the people maybe they don't know what does it taste and what does it taste to, but they have the right to try. This is another thing. Another thing I want to raise it up. I don't respect anyone who just make pressure on other, or I know you need something and I will make you best use of it and I will make you do what I want. No, I know you do help. Either I give it to you, either not. If I am a bad guy, I shouldn't be there to make all enemy are bad guys. No. Muslim Brotherhood may want to help people, okay, but just don't ask them for giving you their vote. If you don't ask them, they will give you their vote. As you, the only persons who help them. But don't say, you take this and I will take this. It doesn't do that. It's not democracy too. Third thing I want to take a look about is US. And Dr. Jean, in the first lecture here, we have first session, we just talked about here in US, government don't represent people well, and people not always do what they want. I think US is the biggest democratic country in the world. They had practiced democracy for a long period of time. I think their problem is much bigger than us. You are very well educated. You had practiced democracy for a lot of time, but now you are vicious cycle. I choose one who doesn't present me well, and I can do what I want, and I do respect democracy and respect the system, and I won't break what I protested for that. So I'm in vicious cycle. So here we find a lot of this diversity. It's not a bad thing, but it's a vicious cycle. So democracy isn't stabilization, and government is cool and present people well and so on. But at least in our country, democracy doesn't go well. But we know the fault. We may not know how can we solve it, but we know the fault. We know these people had so literacy, had so bad treatment, has just lost their mind. You know the faults word. At least I put my hands on the fault. At least I know as I'm not very good now, so I expect the best tomorrow. So I have to work on these problems. What I want to say, these conditions aren't the blackest thing in our life, and it's the end of our life, and we can take democracy and so on. So what's the alternative? As someone just asked here, is democracy is not the best option today, and election doesn't go well. Even we didn't give the people money or something. They also, as most of people said, chose the wrong guy and couldn't choose and couldn't make the best chance. What should we do? My opinion, what thing we do to make better education for these people, to make them able to choose tomorrow. But how this is gonna be? How can we do it? We need time, which all of people and just like us, just have mind, just still think till this moment and not obey the flow to talk with people, to make them understand more, to just make them think. We just want people to think. And as Yusuf does, I do, and a lot of people do. Personally, I know a lot of people do that, and we see the effect under our eyes. I'm a doctor, but I work for another things a lot, just for raise my community awareness, for helping these people. So I take notes from the countries, from the villages, from the surveys, which I have it in my mind. I don't go to search for internet for statistics. No, I do my statistics with myself. So I know the pulsations in street, what do they need. So when the chance is allowed for me, I know what I will do for them. Someone asked you too, do you want a president? As you see all problems and all solutions and everything. Doctor, my college just called and just said to me once, if you focus, you will be a president of Egypt. I said, no, I don't want to be. Because I'm not a good manager to manage this country. It's not necessary just to love this country, love these people, and want to help them. It's more related to having a plan to manage the situation. So my opinion now, just to wait, to do whatever and as much as we can. And if people came protesting against anyone, we should obey them as they will. We eat the plate at end, as we said in the restaurant. I can't say to them again, you don't know your favor. I understand. I'm an educated guy, and I will choose what's the best for you. No, this again, it's not democracy. It's against human rights. And now you just, and then you ask them for think and talk, and you did against what you want. So my opinion, it's individual work now, and see and analyze and investigate, and whoever has knowledge or potential to do something, don't wait. Your country needs you, and I'm sure Egyptians will overcome all of this. I don't know now how it's gonna be like in details, but I'm sure of that, as history says that, and just repeat itself alone, very much. So I'm expecting tomorrow's better, but one condition: if we all worked hard, if we all unleash our potentials, if we all just work in our situation, whatever it is, and just see, investigate, analyze, take your own notes, be ready if you are needed, and you have the chance to be effective guy in the effective place in the right time, as all of these people and countries just need you. So we will respect people, whoever they are, but we will help them without knowing or wanting anything from them. Thank you.